Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Beauty by Nisha. If you're new here, then my name is Nisha, and today's video we are going to be doing the Huda Beauty review. So I'm going to be reviewing the new Naughty Nude palette, the new Huda Beauty Faux Filter Stick foundation, and the new Huda Beauty Water Jelly Primer. So these are new products that she's released over the last month, and I'm super excited to give them a try. I am wearing a Amazon wig today simply because my hair needs to be washed, but that's just my mom life. So if you want to see a review of these products, then continue to watch and don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so first we're going to start with the face, and I'm going to start by priming my face with the Huda Beauty Water Jelly Primer. Like, it looks so different from like a usual primer that I would use, so I'm so curious about how this is going to turn out. I'm actually going to put a little bit on the back of my hand first so I can feel like what it feels like. It really is jelly. Oh my god, it feels so like wet. Not what I'm used to, like, at all. Okay, so it feels definitely very like water-based, and honestly when I'm putting it on it doesn't feel like so much like a primer. It feels like skincare, like something I'm putting like a serum or like a water-based like mask. That's what it feels like, and it soaks into the skin pretty well. It does leave my skin a little bit shiny too, but I do kind of like that. There's a little bit of a scent. It's not too bad because I know like some of Huda's products are very scented, like her Faux Filter liquid foundation and her Resting Boss Face setting spray. Very scented. Like, it was almost like too much for me with like the setting spray. This has a slight scent, but the scent doesn't linger, and it's not something I can smell. Like, once it's on my face and it's soaked in, I'm not like constantly smelling it everywhere I go. Like, it feels okay. It does like make my skin feel a little bit sticky, I guess, and I think that was my problem with the first primer I tried. So the first primer she released, I tried that with the Faux Filter foundation, and I didn't really like it because it made my skin feel really sticky and tacky after, which I like primers to just really soak into my skin and feel like I'm actually not wearing anything at all. So far, it's not too much like the first primer, so it is bearable, but it does leave my skin feeling a little bit sticky, and I don't know how I feel about that. But we'll see how it feels after I apply foundation. Maybe it will feel a little bit different. Okay, and next I'm going to go in with the foundation, and the shade I use is the shade Latte 300N. This is my winter shade. It's the same shade I use in the Faux Filter liquid foundation. So when I did the color match, it did come up with this being my color still to this day, especially for now. So let's go and give it a try. The Faux Filter foundation, the liquid form, is one of my favorite full coverage foundations. It is a little bit cakey and heavy on your face, but I don't mind it because usually when I'm using it, I'm like really trying to like cover up some of the acne scars and such like that. Like, I really want full coverage, flawless looking skin, and so that one is my go-to. It's like the best full coverage foundation. It's just on the heavier side, but I don't mind it for myself personally. I just don't use it all the time because I do find if I use it constantly and continuously, my face will break out. It definitely doesn't allow the skin to breathe. So long periods of time and continuous use, like every day, I would say maybe not recommended. So I do always love her packaging. It's always very sleek and very nice. It's just very unique and to Huda Beauty. So I always really love this. And so the stick form, I don't typically use stick foundations. I usually use liquid foundations, but I was very curious about this and how this would work. So fingers crossed it does well. So I'm just gonna apply like a little bit here. Oh wow, that does go on like pretty thick. Wow. So I'm just gonna like apply some along the sides of my face. Again, I don't really use stick foundation, so I actually have no idea what is the proper way to use it. I probably should have looked it up for you guys, but here we are. I'm just gonna like apply in like some areas and then I'm gonna blend it out. It's very creamy, so that's good, and it goes on very easily. It doesn't stick to my skin, but I don't know if you can tell in camera, but it very much does show some of my pores, especially around here in my face. I can see my pores through it. I wonder if I can get it on my phone camera and show you guys. So this is what I mean by the foundation kind of showing my pores. Maybe when I blend it out, it will look a little different, but when I'm applying it just as the stick foundation on its own without blending, I can see my pores kind of like very noticeable. So I'm hoping that when I blend it, it'll be good to go and you won't see it anymore. And then for today, my sponge I'm going to use is the Morphe one. If you watched my Sephora haul video, this is brand new to my collection and I'm super excited to give it a try and see if the hype is real about the Morphe sponge. And here we go. So I didn't buy the brushes that she has just because I don't usually like to. I don't mind dual side brushes, but honestly, like, I don't usually use a brush to apply foundation anyway. I use it more or less to just do like other face makeup, not my foundation, or my concealer. So I'm blending it and it is blending really nicely. You can't see my pores anymore in here, like, thank God, because like I was worried that you would be able to see them if I when I started to blend, but no, they are gone. It is pretty much full coverage and I'm gonna try it on some areas and see if it's buildable as well. There's not very much product on the sponge, so it really is just like blending into the skin very, very nicely without it basically rubbing off like a liquid foundation. So I'm actually kind of impressed with this so far. Okay, and there's just some areas that I don't think I put enough, so I'm just going to like basically test it out to see if it is buildable for me and if I can really like kind of layer it on to cover up anything that I don't want anyone to see. Okay, so definitely buildable. It's easy to just build it up. It doesn't make it like too heavy or crease anywhere. You can totally layer it on over top to hide anything that you want to hide. Honestly, the overall feeling of it, it doesn't feel very heavy like the liquid foundation does. It's actually really lightweight. Like my skin doesn't feel like I have a heavy, cakey face like when I use the Faux Filter liquid foundation. So bonus, I think that's pretty cool. It also doesn't make my skin look as cakey. It kind of makes it look a little bit more natural. So overall, I think so far in terms of like application and first application, I think I actually prefer the stick version over the liquid version. I also think it's a lot easier to like control how much product you're using. So with the like liquid one, like you might, if you use a little bit too much, you're constantly trying to like blend it out and like make it like not feel so heavy and cakey. This one is so much more easy to control. You basically just do a line and then blend it out, do another one, blend it out if you want, or you can do a couple like I did. But overall, it's full coverage. It feels really nice. It feels like and looks like flawless. And yeah, it's not super heavy or cakey. So far, pretty impressed with this. In terms of the way the water jelly primer made my skin feel, after applying foundation, I don't feel like it's very sticky or tacky anymore. So the foundation definitely helps take away that feeling. Also, just another thing about the foundation, it is not very scented like the liquid form, which I actually really like. I don't mind the scent of it. It's just that it can be kind of heavy over time and you constantly are smelling telling it, especially like when it's already like on your face and basically around the nostrils of your nose. But this has a very faint scent and it doesn't just sit around and linger. So far I think I'm really liking this version better, but we need to see what it's like over long-term wear, which unfortunately I'm not going to be doing today, so stay tuned for that on my Instagram when I wear this as like a more than a couple hour foundation. So make sure to follow me on Instagram so you see that. And the overall product that's on the sponge is not very much. It doesn't soak in like crazy. Like it really just blends out so nicely with a makeup sponge. You could totally use a brush and I think it would blend really well as too, but I prefer a sponge over the brushes. So it could just be this sponge is really good too, but so far for the product not soaking into the sponge a lot, it's pretty good. So I'm gonna finish up my face and then we're gonna get into the Nude Naughty palette. Okay, so we are done with the face. It's all done, my eyebrows are done, so let's jump in to the palette. Okay, so for the palettes you have all these beautiful like more like reddish burgundy brown shades. I'm so excited to take a dip into this palette. Like, I just love her nude palettes. They're so awesome. Okay, so first for my crease, I'm going to actually just go in with this shade Juicy. So it's kind of like a pinky rosy shade. I'm gonna go in with my crease and we're gonna blend it out. Okay, so first impression of the first shade, that's just your basic kind of powder eyeshadow. Basically, you know, it's very good, blends out easily, buildable, perfect. I love it. The pigmentation is there, just like usual Huda Beauty palettes. So no issues with those shades. They're good. I love how easy they are to blend out, and I love that they are buildable, and pigmentation is always really good, especially for my skin tone. Okay, and then what we're going to do is I'm actually gonna use this shade Untamed. So it's like a dark kind of burgundy shade. It was kind of between this one and then this one here. Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna go in with Naughty first. I feel like I should use Naughty, basically because the whole palette is called Naughty Nude or Nude Naughty, whatever order you put it in. So we're gonna use that one, and I'm gonna use it for the outer crease here. I'm just gonna blend it in, and then I think I'm gonna use this to just kind of blend out after, just to kind of darken it up a bit, and that's the shade Untamed. So first we're gonna go in with Naughty, and then we're gonna go in with Untamed. So I'm actually, before I go in with Untamed, I'm going to go back to that Juicy shade, and I'm just going to blend it out a little bit more up here, just because I think it got a little bit too much of the Naughty shade, a little bit too high up. So I just kind of want to blend it out to make it a little bit lighter up here in the crease. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with Untamed in the outer crease, and I'm going to kind of like make it go out a little bit more, just like at the very tips too. And I'm just going to take the brush that I used with Naughty, and I'm just going to kind of blend it a little bit more, so they just blend into each other just a little bit more. I'm going to apply this shade Hypnotic, and I'm just going to put it on my inner lid as well as in the middle, because I'm going to go in with one of these like shimmery shades and apply it over top. Okay, and now I have to decide what shimmery shade I'm going to use over top. I kind of want to use one of these like blue ones here. I think I'm going to go in with, I'm really digging this Provocative one. It's almost like a pinky, like rosy color, and then you have like the purple in there too. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to try that one, and I'm just going to apply it in my inner, or in the middle of my lid. So applying it with a brush, it just adds a little bit of sparkle, but sometimes I know with Huda's shades like this, it's better to apply it with your fingers. I'm gonna try to reapply it with my finger and see if it shows up even more. definitely shows up better with my finger. The nice thing about it is like when you start to mix it, they blend into this nice like little shade together. And then when I apply it, like this shade, like choosing that shade with like the darker purples and stuff that I chose, they actually blend it in so nicely that it even makes the two shades I use just kind of blend into each other really nicely, like pretty perfect. So that's a pretty cool shade. I actually do really like that. And I just like that it's like 2 in 1. I've been really curious about this slippery shade, so I'm gonna try applying it in the inner lid. I'm curious to see like what it's gonna do, because when I swatched it, it didn't really seem like it made too much of a difference. So I think it's kind of like a very like simple like sheer type of eyeshadow. It's not your typical eyeshadow, it's definitely different. So let's try that in the inner lid and see what happens. Okay, so applying it with a brush or my finger doesn't really do much, so I'm not overly a big fan of it. I think it's too like jelly, and like it sticks, like once you apply it onto a brush or your finger, it kind of sticks to your finger or your brush, so it doesn't actually apply as easily. I'm not a huge fan of it. I probably won't use that shade out of this palette just because I don't really like the texture and the way it applies. I don't really feel like it does much. So I'm gonna pass on that one. So I'm gonna go and put my liner on and eyelashes, and then I'm gonna come back and we're gonna do the bottom lid. Okay, so now eyeliner and lashes are applied, and for the final touches, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna go in the bottom lid, and I'm just gonna kind of blend out this shade Spicy because it's a little bit dark purple, like definitely more on the purple side than it is like on the reddish side, and I just kind of want to use it just to see what it looks like. So I'm just going to blend it out very, very gently on my bottom lid. I'm going to make it a little bit darker in this outer corner to make it look more like eyeliner type of thing, like a little bit of a smudged eyeliner. But then I'm going to blend it out so it just kind of lightly goes inwards. I'm not going to blend it all the way, just going to go halfway. Okay, so there is the eye look. I feel like the glitter like needs to be a little bit more like bold, and I've been kind of looking at this shade here, Desire, because it's more like reddish and I kind of really want to go in with that. So I'm actually going to apply this one into the middle just to make it pop a little bit more. Oh yeah, that's way better. That's definitely better. So I like that a lot better now. So I think I'm done with the eye look. So I'm gonna go in and we're gonna get our lipstick and then we'll be done. Okay, so for lip liner today, I'm gonna be using the Huda Beauty Icon Lip Liner. And the lipstick, I'm going to be using the Power Bullet, and it's going to be the shade Graduation Day. Okay, and there you have it, guys. There's a review of some of the new Huda Beauty products that just came out over the last few months. So, quick recap, the Jelly Primer overall felt really nice and definitely feels more like skincare than it does primer. The only thing was is it had that sticky, tacky feeling, which I wasn't a huge fan of, but it did go away after I applied my foundation. The stick foundation, the Faux Filter Foundation, is definitely better than the Faux Filter liquid foundation. I actually really like the stick foundation overall. It's still full coverage, but it blends so easily, so nicely, and it doesn't feel heavy like the liquid foundation does. Also, there's a lot less of a scent, so a little bonus there. And then for the Naughty Nude palette, overall, all the shades, great pigmentation. I love the color palette, the colorway. The only thing was that weird type of shade that was like more of like a jelly type of feeling. It's just like not something I'm a big fan of. I really didn't think that it did anything. I tried applying it with my finger and a brush, and it just there was nothing. Like, I feel like it didn't even show up. I don't even know like what shade or color it's supposed to be. I could be applying it wrong, but I didn't see how I could be trying it both ways, because how else are you supposed to apply it to your eyelid? So I was a little disappointed with that one, just because I know that Huda does come out with new kind of innovative shades and eyeshadows and stuff like that. So I was a little disappointed that that one didn't actually work out as well as I had hoped it was going to. So I'm hoping either she makes it better in the future with all of the reviews and the opinions that she might be getting on it, and then hopefully she makes it better, or she just scraps it all together. And this is the first time I've ever actually not been impressed by an eyeshadow from Huda, so it's kind of weird. So if you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed this review and you found it helpful, please give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell to be notified when I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Bye for now.